Hello everyone, my name is Camila and today I'm going to tell you a little about what I learned in the Science of Food classes. So, in my classes, I learned a lot of things, but here are 5 of the concepts that we are going to talk about. Maillard reaction, water activity, gluten, sweeteners, fats, and oils. One of the concepts that I learned was the Maillard reaction. This reaction occurs in food that contain carbohydrate and proteins and receives some heat source. The Maillard reaction is responsible for giving color, flavor, and unique aromas. We can observe this reaction in several foods that we use during the day, such as chocolate, coffee, and French fries. In the case of the fries, the reaction takes place with carbohydrate and proteins when the potato is added to the hot oil. Water activity is another very important concept for food science. This is the amount of moisture available in a food, that is, the free water that can be used by biological reactions. This makes water activity directly linked to spoilage of a food. Different moistures can be seen in raw beef and cooked beef. Raw beef, like beef jerky, undergoes process aimed at removing water, which prevents contamination, prolonging its shelf life. Another very important lesson learned from the classes was the difference between the sweeteners. Different sweeteners can have different caloric values, such as high fructose corn syrup, which has much more calories than equal sweetener, which has no calories. They are different in price, with honey being an example of a more expensive sweetener. The source can also change, like a natural source in the case of honey, or made in the industry, like artificial sweeteners. The sweetness of each one can also vary, sucrose being much sweeter than invert sugar, for example. This leads to different tastes. Therefore, it is important to understand the benefits of each sweetener to determine the best one for you. Cookies and cakes are loved by many people, but have you ever thought about the science behind these foods? One important concept when we talk about it is gluten. Gluten is a compound formed by two proteins, glutenin and gliadin. These two proteins, when mixed with water, form the gluten, which is important for giving structure and a stretchy quality to doughs, such as pizza dough. Flour, present in both cookies and cakes, is an example of a food that contains the proteins needed to form gluten. Therefore, it is important for people with celiac disease to stay away from foods made with wheat flour, as they are gluten intolerant. In addition to flour, another very important ingredient in cookie and cake recipes is the source of lipids. Oils and fats may look the same, but they have different characteristics and roles. Cookies have fat as an ingredient, which is solid. However, it becomes liquid as the cookie dough heats up. Fats are saturated and stronger bindings. The cake recipe, on the other hand, uses oil as an ingredient, which is liquid at room temperature and results in a tender and moist dough. Oils are unsaturated and have weaker bindings. As we can see, food science is present in our daily lives and there is always more to learn about it. Thank you so much for watching my video and I hope you enjoyed and you became more interested in this fantastic world of the food science.